AkashaWolf, and today is a crystal video, and we are going to be talking about Selenite. So the reason why I decided to pick this stone next is due to its angelic energy and also the positive vibe and energy that this stone brings. I absolutely love this stone, and it's also another stone that's very easy to find. A lot of people do have access to this, so you'll be able to find this along with, clear quartz and a couple of other stones I will be going over during this series. This is one of my favorite stones to work with when it comes to angel work. As you guys all know, I'm really big into working with angels. When I was actually starting to do work with them, I was noticing that it really helped improve my readings a lot more. It was actually this oracle deck that kind of opened me a lot more to understand how to do readings. It's kind of a long story. I don't want to talk about it right now because I think that's more for its own video, but I will be kind of talking about this in a second. So let's get into the details. The planet for Selenite is the moon, and the reason for that is because it does look like the moon. Like, this is how you would probably imagine the moon if it was a stone. And sometimes people call it moonstone just because of what it looks like, but we all know that there is already a stone called moonstone, so this isn't a moonstone. But the name Selenite does mean moonstone. Its element is water. Now, even though its element is water, you should not put this in water. When it comes to cleansing this stone, this is not supposed to go into water because water can permanently damage the stone, and it can also make it dissolve. So it's very possible that some people use water on it to like shape it, but it's not really recommended. Even when it comes to elixirs, you should not put this into an elixir without it being within like a container or something. Don't put this in direct contact with water. Don't do it. Not only that, if you look very closely, it's very hard to tell because of so much light that I'm getting, but you see the way that it moves, like the light moves up? It's because this is almost like it can splinter in a sense. Like if you were to break it, you would see like a bunch of like almost splinters. So if you did put this in an elixir, then you might have tiny shards going into you as you're drinking it. So you don't want to do that. That's a hazard. Chakras would be the crown and the third eye. It works very closely with the chakras going up, but especially the third eye and the crown. Now, some special herbs that you could be using with this would be sandalwood, myrrh, and even frankincense, along with jasmine. So if you were doing maybe like a mojo bag, then this would be the stone that you would want to pair with those. It would really enhance all their properties. Now, its uses, its magical uses would be energy, psychic abilities, and healing. This is a big time healer stone. You're going to hear me say that a lot with a lot of the stones that I'm going to be talking about. But the reason why that this is in a wand shape is because I do use it for healing. This is a very, very good stone when healing your chakras, also your aura. If you ever do go in for a healing, you'll see this stone around a lot. It works really closely with aura and healing. It's big time healer. One of its best qualities that I absolutely love about it is communication with angels. When you're trying to make communication with angels, or you're trying to make communication with any kind of really positive energy, this is the stone for you. So when you're doing readings and you want to make that kind of communication, keep one close by so that way you have a better flow of energy with angels. At the same time, this does bring your energy level or vibration up, so that way it can get you at almost the same vibration as like an angel in a sense. Think of it as like radio stations. There's different frequencies, and you have to be on a certain frequency to be able to hear a certain radio station. So with angels, this will get you to that frequency for communication. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to immediately get communication. Like if you have this in your hand, it's like boom, you can hear angels. But of course, when it comes to angel communication, it does take time and a lot of energy work and trust. And this is used big time in making communication with loved ones on the other side, and that is due to the fact that it does closely resonate with angels, so you're able to make communication with those who have passed on. So a lot of times too, like if you're working with maybe guardian angels, they can help bring forward that loved one so that you can communicate with them. Now, I don't recommend people trying to communicate with loved ones with a Ouija board, but if you did decide to go that far, which I don't recommend it, I'm not telling you to, maybe keep this stone nearby so that way it can bring that positive angelic energy and also give you a better chance of communicating with a loved one. But again, I do not recommend trying to communicate with a loved one with a Ouija board. It is really good at cleansing and charging other stones as well. So you don't really need to cleanse it like that often as you would other stones, because it is a natural cleanser itself, and also, you know, it charges other stones. But if you do decide to cleanse this, I would recommend moonlight. This is also perfect for spirit work, and if you're trying to see past lives, especially in your dreams, it's really recommended to keep one of these underneath your pillow so that as you dream, you can get glimpses of your past life. Really good at stabilizing emotions, and if you do use it in a crystal grid, it will help it bring peace into the home, and also, you know, kind of chill everybody out so that way there's not that many fights within the home. So this is really great to have in your crystal grids, especially like a home crystal grid. And another reason why it's a big deal in healing is because it detaches negative energies. So if you feel like you have a negative energy attached to you, or maybe even causing like a leakage or a block within any of your chakras or in your aura itself, then this would be the stone that you would want to use to help detach that. When it comes to health and the body, people like to use it for the skin, they like to use it for flexibility, also, you know, libido. If you don't know what that means, it's probably because you're not old enough to know. Fertility and protection of just the body itself. Something that I thought was really cool recently was when I was actually cleansing and charging my wolf pack necklace, I wanted to really bring, you know, angels into it. I wanted to bring angelic energy, and for some reason there was just a couple things that popped into my head, and one of them was selenite, and which is weird because I wasn't really thinking about the fact that it was like an angelic, like energy type stone. I just was drawn to it, and of course its wand shape makes it to where, you know, it's really good for directing energy. And I was also thinking about my singing bowl, and usually when I'm doing certain things, I like to use my tarot cards just to kind of see if it's like the right kind of energy to be healing or cleansing anything. It's crazy though, like a lot of times I like to use my tarot cards to kind of see if I'm like in the right energy and if it's like the perfect timing to be doing this. And for some reason I wanted to use my oracle cards, which isn't very common. I prefer my tarot over my oracle, and I pulled out my angel deck that I haven't used in a while, and the first card that I ended up pulling was Michael, and like instantly I knew, like, perfect timing, good energy, perfect. This cleansing and the charging and everything was going to go perfectly, and that made me feel really good, so I ended up continuing with what I was doing. But I ended up finding out a lot of the stuff that I brought into my circle was actually all associated with angels. Of course, you know, the angel oracle deck is, but everything that I had there was something I've later ended up seeing that you do when you're trying to make communication with angels. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But yeah, you guys, I hope this video was helpful and that you consider getting a selenite. It's an awesome stone, and I do plan on incorporating this in a DIY I have planned. I know you guys had mentioned that you would like to see some DIYs, and I have one in mind that I think is going to be great. So don't forget to comment, like, subscribe so that you can be a member of the Wolfpack. I'll talk to you guys later. Goodbye and blessed be.